Yeah, those footballers, they have a lot in common. Skilled footballers, beautiful wives, and they're all wealthy. Or are they? Well, the two gentlemen sitting next to me are going to be talking all about wealth as part of the Dynamic Wealth Conference that is taking place for the first time in Cape Town, then heading off to Durban, then heading off to Johannesburg. Now, the conference will be focused on a lively learning experience for business leaders, entrepreneurs, and wealth seekers. And it's going to be very exciting, and good to welcome international speaker Pa Joof over here and author Colin Brown into our studios. Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Morning.
Well, how are you?
Fantastic. I'm hoping you are you're all very excited for the conference happening this weekend. I'm sure that those that are going to be attending are going to be very excited. Colin, give me a brief synopsis of what exactly this conference is all about.
So this has been a long time coming, and there's a lot of these conferences with multiple speakers that take place around South Africa. This is the first time, really, that it's ever been done outside of Johannesburg, because typically these things are Joburg-based.
Yeah.
So it's in Cape Town and Durban. It's Cape Town this weekend, and really what we're going to be doing is looking at entrepreneurial ideas and investment and wealth creation ideas, and things that enable people to take control of their own sort of financial destiny and their own lives and all that personal financial freedom and all of that.
Yeah, and speaking of which, you guys are the exemplary, examples of that. I mean, Pa Joof, you began first, you came from Gambia and then rose to lead a Fortune 500 company. So you know the secrets of wealth creation within companies. What is the secret to building wealth within organizations in these tough economic times?
Well, I'll say the secret, there's no secret. It's just having passion and loving what you do.
Yeah.
Most people get up in the morning, they just go do the things that they want to do, but they're not really passionate about it. So I just believe the first thing, if there's any secret, is just be passionate and love what you do.
So that when you're passionate about something, success follows you, they say. So, as far as the conference is concerned, who should be attending this conference? Is it the big CEOs of big companies? Is it the everyday man who's looking to build wealth? What kind of people should be coming to this conference?
If we look at the acute need in South Africa for sort of business, entrepreneurial skills, wealth creation skills, financial awareness, financial education, etc., we're actually looking at a broad section of people, anybody ranging from young people who are considering becoming entrepreneurs, considering businesses, to even pensioners who have got to the point that they've stopped working, but they're not done yet.
Yes.
And they want to do something new with the next stage of their lives.
Yeah. And I'm glad you mentioned young people, especially because wealth creation is something that we should be thinking about from a very early age. When you start getting your first job, start thinking about that already. But let's talk a little bit about your book, How to Build a Happy Sandpit, which focuses on how to create a flourishing working environment for organizations and their employees. How do you suggest companies do that? What are some of your top tips where that's regarded?
So I think the fundamental thing, and this is what I'll be speaking about mostly, is that the greatest irony of the entrepreneurial journey, in South Africa in particular, is that people leave employment to go and start their own businesses because they hate the rules and the constraints and their boss and all of those sorts of things. And then they go and start a business exactly like the one they hated. And the problem with it is we have this huge number of businesses that fail in year one and just don't get out of the gate. My suspicion is it's largely down to entrepreneurial exhaustion. It's just so hard to run a business, exactly as Pa was saying, that you're not emotionally connected to, that you can't really, because then you've got to add people, and how do you add people when you yourself don't feel the business?
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to be talking about, is ways to avoid those.
And Pa, what is going to be your focus?
Well, my main thing is closing people, just helping people close the gap from where they are and where they want to be.
Yeah.
And helping people create a mission so powerful that they know why they're here and what they need to do. Because look, everybody's got a message. And I always share that your experience is your message.
Yeah.
And sometimes we look at our experience, some bad things that happen to us, and we start becoming a victim of society instead of becoming an example.
Yeah.
And so for me, coming from Gambia, which is one of the smallest countries in the world, poorest in many ways, but at the same time, we have a very rich culture, like same here in South Africa.
Yeah.
So I just believe it's all about, for me, it's just closing the gap, and that's what I do. I help people close the gap from where they are and where they want to be, and I'll be showing some techniques, some strategies, some insights to help people to get there very quickly.
I'm going to ask you just to open that Pandora's box one little bit by, for each of you, sharing your first step to wealth creation. Colin, we'll start off with you first. So if I'm sitting at home right now and I'm thinking about wealth creation, what's the first step I should be taking?
And I think no matter what, if we are simply locked into employment, generally speaking, and that doesn't, I'm not going to say that employment is a bad place to be, but generally speaking, if we don't have enough control over our own lives when we do that. Now, there are people who in normal employment situations rise to the top, make a great deal of money. There are people who find a lot of satisfaction even in just remaining, doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
But for an awful lot of us in South Africa, the imperative here is to grow this economy and grow, create sort of solutions for unemployment, etc. That's probably my generation's biggest work. Start businesses, but understand how.
Okay, and yours, one single piece of advice, Pa. How do I start now? Very quickly.
Very simple. Hang around people who've already been doing it.
There we go. I love that. Hang around people who... No, I love yours too, Colin.
I see what you wanted now.
So here it is. We're giving away 30 sets of double tickets to people to attend the Dynamic Wealth Conference in Cape Town on the 5th and the 6th of July, in Durban on the 12th and 13th of July, and in Johannesburg on the 19th and 20th of July. All you need to do is SMS WIN, your name and city, to 33728. And also, to find out more about the Dynamic Wealth Conference, visit their website. That's www.dynamicwealth2014.co.za. But time now for us to catch some, I guess, some very savvy tips on how to start building that wealth with saving.